explain like how the audio reactive apps in Hyperfy work actually and how you set them up in your scene quite easily, because right now I think the apps are out now for quite some time, but I still don't see many people utilize them. So I try to help or explain real quick how you use them. It's pretty straightforward, but you need to like understand certain steps to make them work. And so yeah, I prepared a little world. It should be very lightweight, so all of you will fit in, and performance should be fine.
Okay.
Hopefully, jump in. Okay, I think everybody joined. Good. So actually, if you want to have audio reactive lights in your scene, it's quite simple. The first thing you need, of course, is a model, which you can you model something in Blender, or in this case, I used some prefabs of Sketchfab. And there's two things you need to prepare for the model to work in world, which is the first thing: you should give the material you want to emit, you should give it a name. And you should like an easy name to remember, because you will need it later in the app, in world itself. So the second thing is you should give this material an emission color. The emission strength does not matter at all, because you set it later in the app in world, but you should give it a color. Okay, these are the two things that your asset needs to have to later work Audioreactive in world. So the next step I do when I set it up in Hyperfy is, first of all, I add an audio source. In this case, I use an audio app most of the time, which can handle an MP3. But you can also use the video app or the streaming app. It doesn't matter, as long as it can connect to Audio Bridge, it will work with Audioreactive Lights. So in this audio app, there's only one thing you really have to set, and that is that you label it. You give in the label tab, you give it a name, because this name you will, if you then, the next step would be like add an audio bridge, and the audio bridge, there you choose your source, which is basically the name of the audio source we recently added. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And the audio bridge you also should give a name, because the name of the audio bridge itself later will be necessary for all the other apps you use. Okay, so just name it, and the next step is adding the Audio Bloom app. And in this Audio Bloom app, you add this model you just modeled with the material in it. You load it in like in a model app. And if you did that, there's the material tab, which I explained before. You have this name of the material, and just write it in here in the material tab. Okay, so this is the material that will respond. And you assign the bridge we just added in the Audio Bloom app. So this Audio Bloom responds to the bridge, and the bridge responds to the audio source file we added. And if you did these three things, you will end up with, let me show you real quick. Have a light, okay, that blooms. And what I always do, and I can recommend it, because you have this light, but you want it also to light your scene. Okay, so in addition, I add always an audio light too, which is basically, let me show you the thing here. Okay, so you add an audio light, and I use area lights for that, because the point lights are, they emitting in every direction, but I like direction. So I use an area light in this case, which you can choose up here. And I give it the same color as the emission color of my model. Okay. And then I place it like in the direction it should emit. And I give it a certain factor. And what you end up then is having this. Okay, so now I got like shining everywhere, and that's your scene. And that's pretty simple. That's pretty much all you have to do. It's 4 steps, and you're ready to go. And now let me show you how it looks like when you let me put this up real quick here behind you. If you have a scene where you have like 3 different, like, you have one light for bass, one for the mid frequencies, and one for the high. Fire it up. And important to notice, you can also use like many different audio sources and give them all the same. You can swap and switch tracks in between with buttons and play something different, but the audio reacts to it. Okay, guys, that's pretty much it. I think it's straightforward to set this stuff up. I think everybody should try it. And once you understand how easy it is, you could make use of it. Like for example, I got like 2 portals here. I will leave this world open for later, and I have 2 portals where I use these applications for other use cases as well. For example, in this Majesty in the left portal, when you go there, there's a jump map where I use audio reactive jump pads. They make a sound and they emit, and also have an audio light which shines in the scene. So you could use this for games and other stuff as well. And in the right portal, there's a world where I set up. It's also like a club, but you can use audio reactive wearables as well. So one thing you should understand is that once you add a GLB file to an audio bloom and it works, you can reuse the same GLB in any other app, and it will be audio reactive like automatically. Okay, so that's pretty cool because you can like utilize it in many other apps as well.